Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami Ntando Mdletshe, and on this channel sikhuluma ngama-reality TV shows, ama-celebrities kanye nama-YouTubers. If it is your first time joining me today and you really like my content, do not forget to press the subscribe button la ngezansi. Kanti ke futhi you can support the channel by watching the adverts and also liking the video. So you guys, I want to talk a little bit about the first part of the reunion. Makoti, are you the one season two? Okay, so on this part of the reunion, the focus was mostly on Pinky and Shaun, and also Refiloe and Linda. Okay, and then Lorraine and Wendy, they did more on their story in part two, which I'm gonna do in a different video. And then also Sophie, they talk about her situation more on part two. They do talk to them on this one because of course they have to introduce them as the guest and all of that, but their story is dived into in part two. Okay, listen, you guys, I thought that this was a good season, even though there was a point where I stopped watching for like a couple of episodes, because I did say that for me it felt like the season was becoming repetitive. Like every episode we were watching, each family making the Umakoti do some chores in the house, and then they were going to argue about how to do that chore, and then that was it. So it was becoming repetitive for me. So I felt like they're doing too many episodes for such a show. But nonetheless, you guys, people were still entertained because people were still watching. And I do believe that they are shooting the Happily Ever After. Is it the Happily Ever After or Nganele part of the show now? So I don't know if all of the couples are participating in that. Anyway, you guys, listen, everybody looked beautiful. They really did. I thought that they had a theme color because Refilo, Pinky, and Sophie were wearing the same color. But then Wendy was, Lori, I always confuse the name. Wendy was wearing a different color. So I was like, oh, it must have been a coincidence that the others are wearing the same color. But they all look beautiful. All four women looked beautiful. The men too, you guys, they look beautiful. Lorraine looked really beautiful too, and also our host Ula Choncho look really beautiful. Okay, and she does these reunions really good, you guys. She is a good host, Ola Choncho. Okay, and I think that she's the right one for this type of show, because this is a show that she's not only interviewing the ladies with their partners, but there's also parents here, so you need somebody that will know how to speak respectfully to the parents, to the other family members. So she really does a good job. I like her for this show, you guys. And I feel like for some reason, this show is being shot at different locations. So basically, the cast members don't get to meet each other. But for some reason, they have managed to build some kind of a relationship. So it looks like the women are getting along. So even before the show, they look like they're getting along. They're sitting waiting for them to start shooting, and they're just having conversations. Of course, everybody had that question when it comes to Wendy and Lorraine, why they decided to take the trip in the middle of shooting the show. And they do explain that they had to take that trip to Mozambique because they had planned it way ahead. So everything was booked and they couldn't cancel. And also, apparently, they do run a traveling agency, so like they organize trips all the time, so that was part of their work. Okay, so I guess they did not know that they were going to be shooting the show around that time, so they had to go. And so that was it, you guys. And also uh, they do talk about the fact that Lorraine and Wendy were the ones that were mostly affected by the social media backlash. Okay. And I understand it because I was one of those people that was questioning their relationship because I felt like, should they have been part of the show because it did not look like they were ready to get married. But anyway, a big part of their story is being told in part two. Okay. So now with Refiloe says that she knew that it was going to be hard going into the process, which is basically like an experiment, basically. But she did not expect that there was going to be so many roles. And there was a thing that was a challenge for her. And she had every intention to be respectful during the process, and but it was still hard to go through the process. Okay. And then they do go into Pinky and Shaun a little bit because it is the introduction, even though they don't really dive deep into, or they do with Pinky no Refilo. It's just Wendy and Sophie. So then they get into Pinky and Shaun's story, and I was interested in this story because I really did want to hear what the feedback is from the mother-in-law, especially when it comes to Pinky's weight, because there was one thing that I had an issue with when it came to that mother-in-law. Why do you have so much issue with this woman's weight? Okay. And not to say that it's wrong for somebody to lose weight if they want to lose weight, if they're required to lose weight for whatever reason, but that should be the person's decision. You can't just be meeting a person and then deciding that they need to lose weight. Okay. And Pinkett does say that the process was not easy, and at the beginning she was very relaxed, and but now she's feeling like even though she went through the process, it was worth it because now Ilobola has been paid. I did get that feeling with Shaun, that he was one of the guys that really wanted to get married. I never at any point questioned whether he was going to pay Lobolo for Pinky or not. He just really wanted that process to be over so that he could pay Lobolo. So he was ready, you guys. So I feel like he's one of the guys that was really ready. Okay. The others I questioned because honestly, if you are not, for whatever reason, whether you haven't saved the money or there's things in the family that still needs to be done for you to get married, I question why you will make your partner go through this process if at the end of it you cannot go and pay lobola. It just doesn't make sense to me. This is a kind of a process that a person should go through if you are ready to pay lobola. So Shaun was one of those guys, and I like that about him. Okay. So, Lakongo does ask Shaun's mother, do you have a problem with Pinky's weight? Okay. And she also does ask her, would say, why would you be so strict about how Pinky dresses and all of that when a lot of the times Shaun's mother is in short skirts, is in shorts and showing skin and all of that? Why would you have a problem and be strict about how Pinky should look at your house? Okay. So she does explain that the thing is she is at her house. She's not at her mother-in-law's house. And Upinku Makoti, so it's different for her when she comes to the house. So of course Upinki has to wear that blankets that that was given to her at the beginning of the process. Okay. And then Shaun's mother was there with his two sisters who were also part of the show. Now and then they would appear on the show. One of the sisters does say to Shaun's mom, uh, does say this about Shaun's mom. She said that she is very pushy. That woman is very pushy, you guys. And she was very pushy, even forcing Pink to go for those jogs and exercises and all of that. Okay. She says she understands why Shaun's mother wants Pinky to get into the exercise because she also pushes them as sisters to do it all the time, but she has to allow Pinky to do it at her own time. Okay. And also Shaun is not complaining. Okay. Okay, right. So now they're saying that Shaun's mother says that these are the issues that she's having with the Pinky. She's having issues where Pinky does not do laundry for Shaun. Okay. And she says that Ushon will find another woman that will do laundry for him. Okay. And I think that this is an issue that, exist when it comes to um it different kuma generations, because nowadays, like, people are able to be in relationships where the issue of doing laundry and cleaning the house and whatever is does not contribute as much in deciding whether you want to be in a relationship with somebody or not. You can work those things out because there's washing machines, there is people who can come and clean the house for you and all of that. So it does not look like Ushon minds that laundry yakhe is not being done, okay? And but Umagashon really wants Pinky to be the one to do laundry Kashon, okay? So she feels like people will come and take Ushon, Sean will find other women. I really feel like Sean's mother, at the back of her mind, she has a girl. Maybe Sean was seeing somebody that she liked, just like Jabulile and Sophie's situation, where Jabulile liked someone else, but her brother ended up with someone else. So I feel like even in this situation, Sean's mother has a girl that she probably liked better than Pinky, and she's not over it. Okay. So, yeah, you guys, listen. I wanted Sean's mom to answer as to the question of, do you have an issue with her ways? And I don't feel like Sean's mom answered it straightforward, because she goes into how it is important to exercise and all of that, but she doesn't specifically say, do you have an issue with the fact that this woman is not skinny, because I do feel like with her there is an issue. I feel like if Pinky was skinny, she would have been treated different. Okay. And but I love the fact that with Sean just doesn't care. Sean just loves his Pinky, and that's all that he needs. He just needs Pinky, and that's it. Okay. So they do get into talking about the process of having a baby, because remember they did have issues because of Pinky's health issues. It was going to be difficult for them to have a baby. So they're saying that they're still in the process, they're still going through amateur cups and all of that. Sean is specific to say, listen, it's not like I don't want to Pinky to lose weight, but at the same time, I do not want to push her. I want her to do it if she wants to do it. Okay. So I don't talk about it. I feel like if she wants to do it, great, I will support, but it's not like I want to push her into it. Okay. And and then and she does say that when it comes to them doing things, they are moving at their own speed, so they want people to let them do things the way that they want to do things. I feel like this is one of those relationships where the mother-in-law really is not going to be able to affect the relationship, no matter what attitude she has. She just has to give up, because those two just love each other and they're going to do what they want to do. Okay. So it doesn't look like Ushon minds the fact that Elon Riak is not being done by Pinky. If that is true, they're moving on with their life. Sebelo Bolone, they said that they're engaged, even though I did not see the ring, but I guess they have done the traditional part of it. Okay. Then we get into Refiloe, because Refiloe, I really feel like Refiloe's Ukotiza kuka Refiloe was not as hard as Sophie's, but it was dramatic with Refiloe, because Refiloe seemed to ask a lot of questions and was answering back. So it created a lot of drama, because there was a lot of back and forth. There was a difference between her and Sophie. But I feel like if I had to compare the two, I would say that Sophie's experience was more difficult. I mean, Sophie had to even clean the outside toilets, you guys. I would not do that. Okay. So, um, fine, you guys. And then, so they were getting an update on what's happening with Refilo and the family. Apparently, after the show, they've been able to see each other with the mother-in-law. They are okay with each other. But she has not seen Usis Nobisa. Remember, Usis Nobisa is the one that was trying to help her, teach her how to slaughter a chicken. and that they had that whole dramatic thing where they all ended up crying, and then Refiloe wanted to leave the experiment before it was done and all of that. So they said that they have not seen each other, but she does say that, but that is not abnormal because even before the show there were not people that saw each other a lot, so she did not see Sis Nobisa a lot before the show. So this is, it's like things are back to normal. She sees Ausmatic more than she sees Nwabisa. Okay. And then when they get the updates on Ntlawulo, this is what I have an issue with Ulinda, because I'm like, he should not have let Urifilo go through this process without him being ready to pay Ilobolo, because he still had izinto zenhlawulo to sort out. He had to sort out inhlawulo for, I believe he has two other kids, and then he has to sort out inhlawulo for Urifilo, and then he can pay Ilobolo. That is a long process to go through before you actually get to a point where you can pay Ilobolo. So I don't understand why you would be asking your partner to go through a process of cotiza when you have so much that you needed to take care of before you get to that process. And also, everybody keeps talking about how financially unstable he is at this point in time. But even with her, Urifilo, I'm like, girl, but why would you go through this whole process knowing that your man is not ready to pay Lobola for you? You know, so that's the thing. So he had to give an update. So I believe that he has paid Ilobolo for the first born and the second born, and now he is waiting, I guess, maybe saving to pay Ilobolo for Refilo and also Intlaulo for Inganiga Refilo. And then they were getting Sis Novisa's opinion on the relationship. She says what she said before, where she says that a relationship ka Refilo and Linda has something off ngayo good relationship yabo. And listen, you guys, with Refilo and Linda, I feel like they love each other. I feel like they understand each other. And but I feel like the family, I understand why they have a problem with Refilo, because Refilo asks questions. Sometimes Mama people just want you to be like istorm njena. They say Makoti do this, you just do, and Makoti do that, and you just do. And they hate it when you have questions. So why should I do that? Why can't you do that? You know? And I think that that's an issue that just Nobisa is having with that, where Urifilo will ask a lot of questions when it comes to what she needs to do. Okay. And then when they asked the mother-in-law, she says that she wishes that amalobolo could be done as soon as possible, and Ulinda just needs to work hard to pay lobolo. And she says that of course things are not perfect between the two of them. She accepts that, but she accepts Urifilo, and she can't wait for things to be done the right way. The father-in-law also says the same thing about Linda's financial stability, that Linda just needs to work hard right now, but he also is feeling like the two of them are good together, and but he wants everything to be done right. Okay. He also says that he does not think that the relationship is perfect, but they are perfect for each other, and they just want Ilobolo to be done now. Okay. And anyway, so now Urifilo does say that um she felt like during this whole process, even though the family knew her, but they did not know her very well, and that was the thing that caused conflicts between the two of them. And even now, she feels like they know a certain side of her, because she was being asked the question of how does she feel about the fact that the relationship, the family feels like there's something off about their relationship. Okay. And she also says that the family might know Ulinda, but they don't know Ulinda in a relationship, you know. And there is a side of Linda that the family doesn't know that she knows. And so sometimes they feel like the relationship is not working out because they are feeling like maybe Ulinda is not able to stand up for himself in that relationship, whereas they don't know that Ulinda actually does stand up for himself. Because of course I feel like it's that issue of your family is never in a relationship with you, so they never know how you are like in a relationship. So they always assume that you are that way in a relationship, the way that you are with them. And I feel like that's what she was trying to explain. Because yes, you might know Linda. Linda might be your family, but you've never been in a relationship with Linda. So that's why you feel like maybe he is not as strong with relationship as he is as I'm receiving him. Okay. And she does even say that she feels like Ulinda has a mask off when he is with her. That's a thing that the family is feeling like maybe the relationship is not working out. And then they get into the chicken saga, you guys, because of course the Refiloe had to slaughter a chicken. And listen, like Refiloe said, was at the beginning, she had always said that, listen, no matter what happens, she was not going to give up. But when they were going through the process, chicken, the thing that ticked her off was when uh, I think it was the mother-in-law that said that you have failed, and Makoti. Remember, she had sat there for almost 21 days already, done everything that they were asking her to do, even though she was doing it while arguing, because that is Urifilwe. So now she's towards the end of the process, and then the mother-in-law is saying, "You have failed as Umakoti just because she couldn't slaughter a chicken, and that is what triggered her." And that is what triggered the whole situation. That how can, I mean, I've been here for almost 21 days and done almost everything that you've asked me to do. How can you now say that I am I have failed? And that's what triggered the situation. Okay. And at that point, that's why she wanted to give up. Linda insists that he just wanted things to be done in a civil manner. He wanted everybody to be respectful. And the whole process, the way that he viewed it was for the family to get to know Refiloe and for Refiloe to get to know the family. He didn't take it as like it was a drill Yama soldier now, where people have had to be on top of Urifile to do certain things. So he did not understand that. Okay. Usis Nobisa said that she was very disappointed. And also, she feels like the reason that that argument was uh, that argument escalated was because Refilo had been drinking that morning. So she felt like she was tipsy. Okay. And I take that, okay, if Refilo was drinking, when you're drinking, sometimes you become more dramatic and you become more emotional, when you wouldn't have been under normal circumstances. So she says that there was, she feels like there was a reason things got the way that they did. Okay. And also she felt like that her drinking was disrespectful because the mother-in-law had said that she does not want alcohol at her house. They know that there is the rule. Okay. And anyway, so they go back to Asma, I think, to ask, hey, okay, how did you feel about that situation? She does say that honestly she was very disappointed. I feel like she's still feeling emotional about that day. And I get conflicted because I do feel like, okay, fine, she was disrespected, but she was disrespectful too, because that's the thing about us black people and abantu abadala, is that sometimes they don't get that even them they can get disrespectful, and it's like disrespect is only uh, pointed at when it comes from the younger generation to the older generation, but it's not recognized when it's coming from the older generation to the younger generation. And that is the issue here, because it wasn't that what she was telling Refilwe to do was wrong, but it was the way that she was speaking to Refilwe. So that whole situation, she could have said exactly the same thing. We say, okay, when you slaughter a chicken, this is what you do. This is what we kutaka nje inkuku and all of that, and said it in a different tone, And also, while Refilwe is trying to do it, don't be mocking her all the time. There is a disrespect, but for some reason that is not taken as disrespect when it comes from an older person to a younger person, from a mother-in-law to Umakoti. So yeah, you guys, I feel like she's still emotional about that day, how things turned out, but she still stands in the fact that she still wants Refiloe as Umakoti. She still feels like Refiloe is good for Linda, and she still really wants Ilobolo to be paid for Refiloe. Anyway, you guys, there was the part of the first there was the first part of the reunion. I thought that it went well. I thought that that control handled it well. I felt like everybody is calm. Nobody wants to fight. So it's going well so far. It's going well so far. Anyway, you guys, I will do the two parts or the second part of the reunion in another video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before Pumegona. Share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers in Ntanda. Cool.